Aren't you gonna unlock Quark's secret costumes? Here, I'll use the cheat codes. Let's see. Up, up, down, down, left, right, circle, square, square. Even a tutu!
Metropolis! That's where Nefarious is gonna strike first.
Are you sure?
It makes perfect sense. Nefarious tried to destroy Metropolis years ago, but Quark stopped him. Nefarious swore he'd come back and finish the job someday. Now that he has a secret weapon, he's ready to make his move.
Set a course for Metropolis. Let's hope we're not too late.
Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to the Ratchet and Clank 3 Up Yours Arsehole commentary, and yeah, just to talk about things right off the bat, I do apologize for the choppiness of, this video recording difficulties. You might have noticed it before on the Holostar Studios thing, where the quality dropped rather significantly, like you were looking at it through a pane of water. Again, these things happen, but don't worry, things will be back to normal, right after the main section, so, sorry.
It's already started! Dr. Nefarious must be around here somewhere. You sure everything's okay, Clank? Maybe Al should take a look at your circuitry.
How do you like my special creation, Clank? I call him Klunk. Your dopey friend seems to be quite fond of him. Say, maybe they'll change your show to Secret Agent Klunk! Did you hear that, Lawrence?
You put the wit in twit, sir.
Yes, I do, don't I? Today, you will witness the dawning of a new era. For years, I plotted in secret, suffering endless disappointments. But soon, it will all be worthwhile.
You will never succeed. Ratchet will put an end to your madness.
The only ending in Ratchet's future is the end of his own life. And you will have a front row seat.
Now, as you can see, yeah, this is what I wanted to talk about in the previous part, but I didn't because we had Quark video comics, but first it's time for a skill point. 2002 was a good year in the city. That's the skill point you get for blowing up that blimp thing. But anyway, in regards to Klunk, yeah, he's used as evil Clank, but they don't really seem to do much with his character outside of, well, the upcoming boss fights, so I don't know, like, I feel like a lot more could have been done with his character, and on top of that, excuse me, I don't know, like, I mean, there's just a lot of opportunities for him to really kind of, like, act evil, but the game never really takes it, like, there's no moment in the game where he ever, like, deactivates his helipack when Ratchet's making a jump, like, I guess you could maybe consider the scene where he lets Captain Quark die kind of him, but then again, considering what we learn about Captain Quark, which we'll be seeing in the next part, kinda have to call that into question a little bit, so I don't know, I don't know, I think Klunk was a bit of wasted potential, and again, even though it's not really saying much, Secret Agent Clank does kind of delve into that a little bit more, but it's handled no better than it is here, and by the way, if you go over to the left, you can actually find a Scrunch the Monkey trophy. Why? I don't know.
It is time, Lawrence. Time to unveil the true future of this galaxy. The future I have chosen!
Oh, sorry. Did you say something, sir?
The activation device! Now! Behold the final chapter of this galaxy's destiny. The Age of Robots! You are my robot lover. Making my spark plugs go zap, zap, zap with your love. Lawrence!
Oh, dear, that was your audition for Galactic Idol, wasn't it? My mistake, sir. Dreadfully sorry. By all means, sir. Carry on.
And yes, this is indeed the final enemy buff choke point, you know, thing of the game. Yeah, basically they turn all the Tyrannoids into, well, robots. So, yeah, now they're compelled to follow Nefarious through programming. I don't know, I guess it makes sense, more than why they were following him before. Apparently, according to, some Insomniac developers, actually, this was actually a real pain in the ass to actually develop for, because, like, I can't remember the specifics, but I think it had something to do with, like, the PS2's processing power, and, you know, that they were worried about having two different Tyrannoids with two different textures, like, screwing up the game or something. So, yeah, I mean, the fact that they even got this to work at all, I guess, is something or other, but still, who knows. Like, I mean, again, while the Tyrannoids are a little bit more buffed up, their tactics don't really change all that much, like, they're not any smarter in terms of AI, so... really, it's just a way of buffing up enemies for... I'd say after this point we'd probably be at the third half of the game, or at least when we start approaching the endgame territory. We're kind of in the preset moment at this stage. But I mean, that's neither here nor there in this case, and again, Metropolis, well... Again, like, I mean, it might not be as exploratory as it was in Ratchet and Clank 1, just being more of like a cityscape, explore around kind of thing. Again, like, I mean, I will say this definitely does feel a little bit more video gamey than what we saw in Ratchet and Clank 1, but then again, considering the fact that the city's under attack, I can kind of let that pass more than I would otherwise, because, I mean, we're here to defend the city and protect it from being invaded. We're not here to fuck around, look at the shops, and go to the fucking fitness course. So, I mean, I suppose in some respects I can give the game its props for not trying to tread too much on old ground from Ratchet and Clank 1, but I don't know, I guess maybe you win some, you lose some, considering some people's critiques about Ratchet and Clank being a little bit too third-person shootery. But again, I will say that, like, the main segment of Metropolis isn't really all that expansive. Like, I mean, you just have your main segment here, and we have our additional segments coming up a little bit later, so stay tuned for that. And of course, we also have our main threat, the Bio-Obliterator. Actually, kind of going into that a little bit before time runs out, like, how exactly did Ratchet not get turned into a robot? Because, I mean, he was in the vicinity of the Tyrannoids, and all the Tyrannoids on the planet have been turned into robots, so wouldn't he have been transformed too? I guess something that, I guess the developers didn't really think of, or there wasn't really much thought being put into it. Then again, as with an... well, again, I'll save it for next part, but as with an upcoming cutscene would, imply... Actually, no, even with one, shortly after the boss fight coming up, yeah, Ratchet does have some, hashtag problematic thoughts about robots, so, maybe Nefarious has a point.
Look, Clank, it's Dr. Nefarious, and that butler guy, and they've got Clank! They're, holding you prisoner. How about that? I guess I should be feeling pretty stupid right now. I don't suppose there's any chance he's the evil Clank. Yeah, didn't think so.
I've been laughing so hard today, my sides ache. I must admit, Ratchet, you've proven to be a far more worthy adversary than that imbecile Quark. Alas, I have a galaxy to conquer, so our game must end here. It's a shame you won't live long enough to see the rest of your kind exterminated. Well, you get the idea.
Uh-oh, Klunk is gonna do the King Kong thing, and yeah, his attacks are pretty much there to mirror giant Clanks. Like, I mean, he'll shoot off his little laser balls, he'll fire missiles at you, he'll... Actually, I don't think he tries to stomp you or anything. But again, if you have the Flux Rifle, he can be taken down in no time flat. Then again, you do also have, like, the secondary train. So, like, we start off on a different train from where Clank was. Whatever.
I am sorry, Ratchet. This is all my fault.
Knock it off, Clank. Nefarious did this, and he is gonna pay for it. For Metropolis and for what he did to Quark and Skid. You and I are gonna make sure of that. Come on, let's get off this planet before we end up dead. Or worse.
Or worse? Ratchet, we gotta take you back to those, Ratchet, we gotta take you back to those sensitivity trainings. That's, very problematic. I'm sorry, Clank, I'm just racially prejudiced against those inferior species. Why do you think I loved disassembling robots when I was a kid? I don't really know how to do a good Ratchet voice. But I mean, anyway. Yeah, and like, the Tyrannoids being turned into robots, that's actually a thing, permanent throughout the rest of the game, actually. So, you go back to different planets, and yeah, the Tyrannoids are robots now. Again, I think that might have had something to do with the whole sort of, programming quirk that I was mentioning earlier, but yeah, we have no time to talk about that because now we have the, Galactic Ranger things, although it does make sense here because, well, this is, like, the main world where the President lives, so we gotta... Well, no, that was Marcadia, technically speaking, but... Whatever, it's a world from the first game, and now we gotta save the day in a cloudy sky that looks like Ratchet's hovering over Earth. And, I get the impression that the mission order here was switched in development, because, like, we start off on the hover ship even though we came from the, like, the massive Star Cruiser thing, so shouldn't we have, like, started in the hover ship or something? Whatever, but basically this is a pretty easy introduction where we just sort of, like, take out the bombs and, the Galactic Rangers get very testy about Ratchet hurrying the fuck up, otherwise we're all gonna die. Also, I really love how the music here starts. Like, I mean, the music, for the Metropolis Ranger missions is actually pretty good in and of itself, but, I kinda like how it starts. It's like, dun 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 dun, like, it just cuts right into the action. It's like getting in the middle of your favorite TV show, like after an ad break. Dun 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 dun. Whatever, that's just my random thought for the evening. They actually do make out some pretty amusing excuses, like how they have a dentist appointment and, good luck with those bombs. And now here's what I think was initially meant to be the first mission, so now Ratchet goes diving into Earth. And again, like, I mean, I guess to add a degree of challenge to some of these things, like, again, the amount of, red vapor trail missiles end up increasing a lot, so, yeah, you can't really just be idle and just go listlessly to the left and right, you gotta circle around. You know, it's like, getting a massage. But again, there is... Again, this isn't mandatory to do, by the way, but again, you do get a pretty sweet reward for it, which, again, like, I mean, if you weren't really one for hunting down for secrets, you get a Map-O-Matic, which, again, as described with previous games, allows you to find hidden secrets. And it's especially useful for this, because the secrets are hidden in some places that you otherwise wouldn't really know where to find. Like, I mean, in Ratchet & Clank 1 and 2, you usually had very dedicated paths for them, but in Ratchet & Clank 3, a lot of them tend to be hidden and tucked away in small little places, which you wouldn't really find. Like, I mean, there is actually one gadget in the next planet that I actually didn't know where to find until years after I played the game, so yeah, that just goes to show the amount of depth that this game had. Then again, there was a bit of a reason for why it was so placed in a haphazard area, but we'll get to that when we get to it. As for these missions, it's really no different from what you've seen before. Make sure all the Galactic Rangers stay alive. Yeah, that's something I didn't really mention in Marcadia, actually. Again, if in these sorts of missions, if you let all the Galactic Rangers die, it's pretty much mission fail. I think in some cases you can let the Rangers die and you can continue on as normal because Ratchet's the guy who gets shit done, but in missions like these, you gotta keep them alive. But then again, the Galactic Rangers do have enough health and, you know, damage capabilities to defend themselves relatively well, so... Again, like, I mean, you do have to be on the ball, but, like, I mean, you don't have to be, like, so worried about your teammates' health that it becomes detrimental to the overall experience. I guess, considering what Mike Stout said about Skid McMarks, we have him to thank for this, because, well, dear god, if I never have to deal with the fucking Ashley Graham situation of Resident Evil 4, it'll be too fucking soon. I swear to god that was reused from an earlier stage, but, whatever. Again, like, I mean, this is also very apropos to bust out your Rift Ripper, or just in time, actually, or to bust out the Lava Gun, which is now upgraded to the Liquid Nitrogen Gun, and sweet, crispy Jesus flame grilled to perfection. Just look at that. Freezes your enemies, and they melt. God, that is so fucking good. Again, like, I mean, whatever Insomniac developers who listen to the fan feedback regarding the Meteor Gun, I love you, thank you very much, let us have children. So yeah, one of the Rangers died. Rest in peace, soldier. We'll never forget you, whoever you were. H26, whatever your designation number is. But yeah, this is basically, I'd say probably the most difficult mission of the Metropolis ones, and that's only for one reason. Mainly because now you have to deal with Let's see, do they have the missile pods here? I'm pretty sure they do. I mean, the green Tyrannoids aren't really anything to take seriously now that you have the hover shit, but pretty sure it was one of them. It might be the next one, I think, but yeah, you do have some of those missile pads that make this a bit of a pain in the ass. And again, so like, I mean, this is essentially just flushing the enemy out of their little hovels, and that's about it. Again, like before, you do have the Galactic Rangers telling you their little anecdotes and, you know, telling you stories of their past victories, like how apparently one of the Galactic Rangers, I think it's the captain guy, but yeah, apparently they survived in a sewer with a Krakoway and got eaten by a King Amoeboid until being shot out. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. Interesting trivia with the Galactic Rangers themselves, actually. Initially, they were all going to have, like, a very monotone voice, but I think it was one of the developers, actually, who disagreed with that and actually ended up having their voices be diversified by pitches. I guess thinking in a similar manner to what D. Bradley Baker would do for the Clone Trooper voices in the Star Wars Clone Wars TV show. So yeah, they gave the Galactic Rangers distinctive personalities despite being the same sort of robots, and to be honest, I think that was a really good call, because, like, I mean, it adds a lot of personality to otherwise faceless robots. Like, I mean, they don't have distinctive names or anything, but, like, I mean, you can tell which one's the captain and which one's the, you know, hapless soldier. So, I don't know, it's just the little differences and nuances that really add a lot of life to the Galactic Rangers, and ironically make them a lot more memorable than the Galactic Rangers you saw in Ratchet 2016, who did have distinctive faces and names, but were so fucking generic other than the, like, nerdy computer one, and I think that probably speaks volumes about her, because I can't even remember her fucking name. I don't know, like, I mean, I think it just goes to show how, like, how lively dialogue just really can liven up an otherwise tacit gaming experience. I don't know, it just injects a lot of personality to it, man. But I mean, let's see if we got any handy dander Tanagets, and I don't, because I already talked about Klunk. I'm pretty sure this is also a actually, is this a multiplayer map? I don't think it is. Huh. I think it might be. I might have to double check, actually. I mean, I would test out the multiplayer, but I mean, to be perfectly honest, it's been half a dozen years. Oh, no, not half a dozen years, but I mean, it's been ages since I had somebody else to play with, and even then, I don't think I have a functional secondary PS2 controller anymore. So I mean, unless of course I insert it into port 2 and do something like that, I guess I can't really test it. Oh god, I'm so lonely. But thankfully the mission's over, and again, as you can probably tell with the fact that we're mainly in the hover ship for a lot of these, yeah, this is basically just dogfighting air superiority stuff. And again, this is pretty much one of the more fun aspects of the missions, just taking out dropships and getting into dogfights in the skies. Also, if you look very closely up into the skybox of Metropolis, up in the top you can actually see stars, so I guess it's either going to nighttime, or I guess we're closer to the atmosphere than we think. Apart from anything else, Curious, actually, has there ever been a... No, I was about to ask if there was ever, like, an Earth mod for Ratchet and Clank, but then again I remember that this is on the PlayStation, so I guess modding probably isn't really a thing. Well, I mean, I suppose it could be if you tried hard enough, but... You know, again, unless Ratchet and Clank gets a PC release, which it won't be because of Sony exclusivity. Yeah, forget it. I thought I would have had more to say here, but I suppose not. Well, I mean, I guess to discuss a little bit more of Ratchet and Clank 3, even if unrelated. Actually, I guess I could probably talk about Tools of Destruction, really, because I mean, like, Metropolis was featured heavily in, like, in the pre-E3 advertisements, and something that I do actually vividly remember, because, like, I mean, back in the day, I remember, like, as one of my earliest web surfing memories, just seeing, like, the very early teasings of Tools of Destruction, and seeing how good Metropolis looked was... God, man, it was fucking breathtaking, and we spent most of the game in the Polaris Galaxy, so... Yeah, beautiful looking scenery, and barely good to see any of it. Well, I mean, then again, I suppose Tools of Destruction basically was just Up Your Arsenal 2.5, really, because, well, it was basically the same sort of gameplay, just with a few little additions that I guess they wanted to include into Ratchet and Clank 3, like the Star Fox-style ship combat and the, I guess, maybe a more grandiose story, but I don't know. Whoopee! Yeehaw! Get him, cowboy. Roger, 909-0. Target is locked on. Whiskey, Foxtrot, 59672.
Nice flying, Sarge! The Noids will be getting desperate now.
Woohoo! We just kicked the Noid's buttocks. But yeah, this is pretty much the final mission, and one little thing I want to point out with the turret, actually. They do tend to be some of the toughest missions in the game, but it's not for the reasons that you might think. Like, I mean, obviously you do get swarmed by enemies, and yeah, again, that is part of the game's difficulty that I do accept. What I don't accept, though, is the game's HUD for the health bar, because, like, I mean, especially for the turret, like, I mean, usually when you have a health bar, you know, as you can probably see with Ratchet's health bar, like, I mean, it usually just goes down, you know, from right to left. So, you know, like, I mean, you get damage, health goes to the left, as you'd expect. But as you're seeing right here, like, I mean, the health bar is, like, right in the center, and instead of, like, going from right to left, it's instead going, like, from the left and the right, and right to the center. So you actually have less health to go around, and, I don't know if that was a stylistic choice, but it's, kind of a bit pish. Like, I mean, really, that should have been fixed in development. Like, they should have either had your regular health bar replaced by, you know, the turret thing, or it should have been, like, a separate... whatever, they should have handled it differently. I'm grumpy. Grr. But yeah, like, I mean, the turret segments, apart from the health bar issue, should be no issue. Ah yes, we've finally finished them, and on that note, I'm Solidus-Skully, keep it new metal, and I'll see you dudes and dudettes next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks again, Sarge. Me and the guys wanted to get you something to say thanks for saving our butts all over the galaxy. Everybody chipped in. We got you this map-o-matic.
Oh, you guys are the best.